are a lot of younger dancers like me that want to be known as a dance thinker beyond just a dancer and a dance maker.
Welcome to the Dance Maker podcast presented by Small Plates Choreography Festival. In this series, we engage in inspiring conversations with choreographers from the Small Plates Network, whose work has been showcased in our performances. Small Plates Choreography Festival is an artist-centered dance performance series designed for dance makers at all stages of their choreographic careers. We expertly curate and produce concert dance through an open application process, highlighting distinct, uncommon, and relevant short dance works in performances in several different U.S. cities each year. Our goal is to be a platform for dance makers to amplify their voices and reach, and to create a lively interface between artists and audiences, exploring the creative process and the intent behind each dance. I'm Beth McKee Elliott, a lifelong dancer, dance maker, producer, somatic practitioner, and artist. Choreography has been a profound pursuit throughout my life, and I established Small Plates Choreography Festival in 2012 to create a platform and community for choreographers like myself to present work and to connect with audiences and fellow creators. This podcast is an extension of Small Plates Choreography Festival and is intended to amplify the impact of the artists in our community. This podcast serves as a medium for conversations with dance makers about their inspiration, experiences, processes, and the deeper purpose behind their creations. We will hear from the talented choreographers of Small Plates about what draws them to dance, their creative process, and their artistic journeys. To be a dance maker is to be a joy maker, a culture maker, and a meaning maker. Join me as we discover how choreographic work comes to life through the eyes of the artists of Small Plates and learn where you can engage further with them and with their performances. Hello, and welcome to the Dance Maker podcast. I'm Beth McKee Elliott, and today I am speaking with Alex Bark. Alex is a choreographer, and she presented work at our concert, Small Plates Newburgh, last November. Hi, Alex.
Hello, how are you doing?
Good. Welcome.
Thank you.
Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to be a dance maker?
Yes. So I am from the Hudson Valley, and I dance at a studio in West Park called Barefoot Dance Center.
Mm-hmm.
And that is where I was first exposed to the idea of making my own choreography as a dancer. And I definitely had a kind of journey of coming into like the confidence aspect of it, because the way that it works at Barefoot is you're coming up, like it's all kind of preparing you what you're exposed to when you're a younger dancer in the studio for bigger works of choreography as you get older, and if you would like to join the student dance company.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in a youth-centered dance company / workshop class called Choreolab. We were exposed to exercises on how to make dances and how to make dances on other people and on yourself. I think that it always felt kind of uncomfortable for me because I would think so much about it and I wouldn't be able to really come up with anything because I was like, when I make it, it has to be perfect, like first try. But I think getting practice with that every single year being at Barefoot from maybe age 10 to now I'm 17, I think I feel a lot more comfortable with it. So I went from Choreolab kind of getting the foundations of that into company, which I joined at age 14.
Mm.
And in company, we choreograph one piece every year, and we get 2 or 3 weeks, like 2 classes a week for 3 weeks to come prepared with choreography and teach it to our dancers, and before this time, we kind of get control over how many dancers we want in a piece, and we start thinking about costumes and music, and, like, you have full kind of creative control
Mhm.
over your artistic vision before you even start. So, I have choreographed 3 dances completely so far in company, and I completed my 4th a couple weeks ago, and I'm just ready to do more in the future, but this is, how I've got to where I am.
Wow. So I do happen to know a little bit about your studio where you study, and it's not a typical dance studio like any other dance studio I have ever heard of or worked with myself. I think that the classes there, you like what classes do you take besides choreography?
Besides choreography, I take a contemporary modern class,
Mhm.
and that kind of includes some it includes some yoga technique
Mhm.
for warm-ups, and then we have done some Cunningham and Graham and a African diaspora dance, which is dances from South Africa,
Mhm.
and we kind of go through a bunch of dances, like, every 2 weeks, like, we're working on one dance for 2 classes, then we switch to another one because 'cause they're really up-tempo, and it's pretty easy to just kind of keep adding on movements until you have a full dance, but, um, I enjoy that class a lot because there's live drumming in it, and it makes it
Oh, wow.
really, like, energetic, and you keep with the rhythm of the drums, and it's kind of like interaction between the dancers and the drums
Yeah.
that I like, and it's very, like, I don't know, it's kind of unpredictable. It's a lot less you can't really, like, relax too much. I don't know, whereas with music, you could kind of, like, stop your movement, but the music keeps going, but
Okay.
when you stop dancing, the drummers stop dancing. I mean, drumming.
Yeah, there's a connection.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
not just like putting on a piece of recorded music and then you dance. It's
Exactly, yeah.
there's connection between the artists.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention it because there might be people listening who, when they hear, a young student choreographer, which you didn't mention your age, which is
I said it a couple minutes ago, I'm
yeah,
17.
yeah, you're a 17-year-old dancer at a studio, and I think typically we would think competition dance, like a
Right.
lot of people might go to that and have that be the expectation, but your studio is not like that at all. It's like it's such a beautiful organization, and I just love your teacher. I think the world of her. But she's
Thank
just
you.
like making dance makers. She's creating artists in her school, and I think it's really wonderful.
Yeah, I think that my teacher does a lot she puts a lot of faith in us and a lot of trust and responsibility, and it always pays off. I think that the way that she prepares us before we choreograph on our own and are responsible for all parts of the dance is always effective, and I think that even the classes that we take outside of our company just molds us all into really responsible, thoughtful, caring dancers that are just so sensitive and attuned to the other dancers and their own artistic vision, and it's like I don't know, it's a very well-rounded process. I feel very well-rounded because of it. I feel like I
Yeah.
can do a lot.
Yeah, that was so well said. That is exactly my experience of any of her students that have been part of Small Plates in the past. I'm just blown away by the artistic maturity that you all bring. Tell us a little bit about what brought you to Small Plates Newburgh.
Well, I received the application from Jesse, my teacher,
You did.
and I had expressed an interest in taking my duet to another place, and I didn't really know what that would mean. I didn't really know what a dance festival really was or but I was just interested in trying to branch out and get a new experience with dance
Mhm.
and show my choreography to a different kind of audience. I applied and well, I knew it would be okay if I didn't get in and I just went for it and shot my shot. It didn't go well, but it just felt really exciting to try something new and to branch out because with my studio, we're only really showing our dances to our parents and our friends and whoever comes to our performances. So it's not really exposure to a real dance community. I've just been getting more and more daring with what kind of dance communities I'll expose myself to. 2 years ago, I went to Bates Dance Festival for the first time. And that was also me testing the waters and seeing if I had potential to be trained in a more professional dance setting, and that was also something that I think led me to Small Plates because it was just more of, leaving the nest of Barefoot Dance Center.
Mm. That's amazing. I'm really glad that you applied. And we were really so proud to present your work at Small Plates Newburgh. After that experience, what are you looking forward to as a choreographer? How are you thinking about taking choreography into your life going forward? Have you thought about that?
I have. I've thought about it a lot surrounding the college application experience.
Yeah, thinking about a college dance program.
I definitely am. All of my college research and a lot of my thinking about where I'm gonna go centers around a good dance program. And while I don't know if it would be a major or a minor or
Mhm.
just taking classes, I know I wanna keep dancing because everything that I've been doing just encourages me to dive deeper into it, and it just brings me a lot of joy as well. I would lose a part of myself if I didn't keep choreographing in college,
Mhm.
um, and dancing, and I see it as a really easy way to connect to other people because when you're dancing with other people, there's something so, vulnerable about that. You have to let go of a lot of conscious thinking and, self-doubt or just withholding in yourself and kind of just, expose yourself to people and, really try, and so much, literal, physical output also kind of connects you to other people. There's a lot of benefits to me continuing dance, and that's what I plan to do, in college and hopefully beyond that.
Having those skills and those experiences, I think, will serve you in any number of career paths that you might go down, whether it's choreography or something related or something unrelated. But those having those experiences and having that, body to body connection with people in this cooperative, expressive experience, it shapes you in a really important way.
Yeah.
And so however you go forward in your life, you have that. You have that experience and you have that shaping.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about the dance that you choreographed, for Small Plates. Well, you didn't choreograph it for Small Plates Newburgh, but your dance tell us about your dance Peapod that was presented at Small Plates Newburgh, and then we're gonna watch the dance and
Yeah.
talk about it a little bit, but, tell us about your dance.
Okay, okay. Peapod is a duet between 2 dancers. It's about motherhood and mothers and daughters and family and connection. It was created during a time where my mom was going through a lot of health challenges, and I found it really hard to connect to her at times. We had a breakthrough moment one day, and um, it really just made an impact on how I see mothers and daughters and how they have to support each other equally, to not take anything for granted, and to show up in your life and in your family to make a difference. And to a lot of the movement of the dance was created around feelings of support and dependency and trust, and a little bit of like blind trust, like not really knowing if this will lead to anything good, but just like knowing that you have like a trust in the relationship itself, and you know that you can carry yourself through with that. So you just put your faith in it and see where it goes. And even if it goes bad, you stay with it because you know it'll get better. There's like kind of a journey that the dancers take. There's a lot of travel. What it emphasizes most is that what makes the travel easier is having someone to take the journey along with you.
Really beautiful. I'm just taking all that in, what you said. And, I'm a mother and I have a daughter. I'm just really touched by everything that you said. And the trust in the relationship itself is like just an idea I never really thought of. Just the trust in the relationship itself. And just knowing that will always be there. That's just really like hitting me in my heart.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Let's let's watch your dance and then we'll
yeah,
talk about it some more.
let's do that.
Are you enjoying the Dance Maker podcast? Please share it on your social media channels. Like, subscribe, leave a review, do all the things to help us reach more dance makers, dance enthusiasts, and audiences. If you're interested in Small Plates Choreography Festival, there are many ways to get involved with our shows. You can apply to present work. You can support us by coming to one of our performances or watching a live stream. And you can also support us financially. Small Plates is fiscally sponsored by Fractured Atlas, and so your support is tax deductible. Please check our website, smallplatesdance.com, for open applications, links to purchase tickets, and to donate. Be sure to join our email list to receive notices about new podcast episodes, application deadline reminders, and announcements about new shows and events. See you at Small Plates. How did it feel watching that?
I felt proud watching it. I was just thinking about the moments leading up to it, being so nervous.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was the first performance of the day, and I was backstage, and there were so many dancers in such a beautiful but little small space, little backstage
Yeah.
area back there. Just it felt like there were so many talented and admirable people that I had to impress, and I just really wanted to show my stuff. And seeing the actual performance, I am still proud of being brave and doing it and being scared.
You should be proud of that. For me, watching it again, I saw your dance 3 times in one day. So that's, like as a dancer, I practically could do it, after that, right?
Yeah.
Practically do it. But experiencing it again, like after hearing you speak about it and what inspired you and a little bit about your process. And I really felt like I was watching it with completely new eyes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so what I really appreciated about it was that I think, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think there was any fluff in that dance. I think everything that you chose to include in that dance had a meaning and a purpose, and every single movement supported your idea that you wanted to express about the relationship with your mother at that time. That's
Thank you.
yeah, that's the sense that I got. And then when you came back around to the end of the piece, it started where it began, but in a different space, but a little bit differently. That really made me feel that sense of like maybe things aren't any different, but it's the relationship that's here that
Yeah,
is what matters. And our relationships are basically the things, the moments that we share between each other. And, maybe we don't really have control over how the other person thinks or feels or acts or how they respond to us or whether they're healthy or not. However, we have this thing between us that is ours. And for whatever it is, it's what we have.
yeah, yeah. I think the return that both people decide to make, the return to the relationship is the
Mm.
most important part, and that's what'll always hold it together.
It was very masterfully supporting the ideas that you had and the feelings that you were trying to express. And that's choreography.
Yeah. I like to watch it back because it does take me back to the circumstances around it when I was choreographing, and yeah, I do feel like every movement represents something specific, like a memory or a feeling, and yeah, I am very proud of it.
You definitely should be. And I wanted to let you know that I don't think you realize this, but you really inspired everybody at Small Plates. It's easy when you are, let's say, post-professional dancer or choreographer, and you've danced for really well-known people and you've done a lot of really illustrious things. It's easy to, apply for a festival and, it's just easy to go in and say, well, I danced for so and so, and I like it just opens the door. Every one of those choreographers has been, they've all been 17 before. And to see what you're doing at your age was truly inspiring. The level of artistry and professionalism that you brought to the show was really inspiring. And it wasn't just professionalism. That's not the right word. I think you really embraced the experience in such a beautiful way, and you inspired everyone there.
It's really nice to say, thank you.
You inspired me for sure. One of the reasons I like to do small plates is because when I was your age, I knew I wanted to be a dancer. I didn't know I could be a choreographer. I didn't even know
Uh-huh.
that was the thing.
Yeah.
I grew up in a small town. And so I had a very limited view of dance and what it was. And
Mhm.
to me, it was just like something that was done in a studio and then you have a recital. I didn't have all of these choices. And, as I grew and I went through life, and I was fortunate enough that I got to live in these different places and have these different experiences and learn about different ways that there were to dance and to make dance and to present dance in the world, to be a dancer and to be a choreographer. So it's not that the opportunities weren't there, but I didn't have the opportunities because I didn't know better. So one of the things on my heart to do is just to make opportunities for people like me who were 17 and didn't know that there was something else I could do,
Totally.
wanting to branch out and wanting to go do more with my dancing, just looking around and just not having guidance and not having any opportunities, or even if they were there, I didn't know they were there.
I know, yeah. There's still a problem today, at least that I notice. I don't know how universal the experience is for people my age, but I think there are more options, but there is also still not as much opportunity for younger choreographers. And I really liked what you said about how it's so easy for people who have danced with so and so company or like are students at this college that's really good for dance. Like, it's so easy for them to apply and get into these festivals. It feels a lot more intimidating when you're younger because you're so, like, entry level and, like,
Yeah.
it feels like you don't have no reputation to precede you, and you're kind of it could just be, like, because I live where I live, there's not as many opportunities. I think, like, a young dancer in New York City might have more options, but I think that there should be a lot more festivals and places where young choreographers can share their
Mhm.
dances to each other. I recently participated in the Student Dance Summit, which takes place in my area, in like the New Paltz area. That was amazing because it brought dance students as young as 9 or 8 that had choreographed dances, and students like
Wow.
me who were 17 and 18 that had choreographed dances together, and we all applied and had our pieces reviewed and, like, really got, like, a professional level of feedback and, like, a whole experience of applying, submitting, and performing our dances to each other, and there was a whole Q&A afterwards and have interest taken in us on our thematic intentions and, like, I don't know, it was just completely necessary because I think there are a lot of younger dancers like me that want to be known as a dance thinker beyond just a dancer and a dance maker.
I love that. A dance thinker. It goes back to that whole idea of, how you take it forward in your life. And just because you are a dance thinker or a dance maker does not mean that you have to go forward and be that forever in your life. There are a lot of other ways that being a dance thinker serves you.
To bring back another point from earlier in our conversation, you were saying how being a dance thinker type of person can help you in other careers. I think that learning how to project manage a dance made me more organized, made me more efficient, and I know how to be prepared, I know how to time manage, which I think applies to a lot of other jobs and activities and careers and all of that.
Those are all extremely important skills and you do them very well. And that dance was very clean and efficient. I mean, that's not a fancy word, but it had there were no distractions in there. That was very focused on what you had to say and what you wanted to express. And it was very clearly communicated through movement. And that is not just a beautiful thing, but it really shows a dance thinker there's a lot of intelligence there that's going to serve you in many, many ways.
Yeah.
Well, you are a joy, and I'm just really so glad that our paths crossed and that you were able to bring your work to Newburgh and show it. I hope you'll apply again. And I know that you will inspire a lot of other young choreographers to also present work or to apply to present work in Newburgh, and we're going to open more space for them. We have more shows, and we're going to open more space for choreographers just like you.
That's amazing. Well, I'm so grateful for you for having me,
Yeah.
and I hope to attend Small Plates again. I hope to see more choreographers like myself there.
What are your plans for later this year? Is there anywhere you're performing or presenting work that we can let people know where they can find you and see you?
I will be performing in my studio's student dance concert on May 31st, 2025, and it will be a great show with all of the work from all of the year.
Yeah, are you presenting a piece in
I am. Yes, I will be presenting a piece. of 4 dancers, and I will be presenting a senior solo of my creation.
That is really exciting. Okay, so I'll get the information about that and I'll link to it in your podcast. And then what about social media? Is it okay for young choreographers to follow you on social media or anyone who's interested in what you're doing?
Yeah, I'd love that. My Instagram is Alex, Alex, period, B, and then there are a couple E's on the end. Let me get the count. 5 E's.
Okay.
I need to commit that to memory.
Great. Well, we'll link that too so that people can follow you. And thank you again. And I really, I hope to see you again in one of our shows and look forward to whatever you do next. I'm sure it's going to be absolutely amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of the Dance Maker podcast, sponsored by Small Plates Choreography Festival. Be sure to support this podcast by liking, subscribing, and sharing with a friend or on your social media channels, or by leaving us a review. That really helps us expand our reach. To learn more about Small Plates Choreography Festival, please visit our website, www.smallplatesdance.com, where you can apply to be one of our performances. Be sure to also sign up for our newsletter and be the first to hear about new shows, get reminders about application deadlines, and of course, we will also let you know each time a new podcast episode drops. We rely on your financial support. If you would like to support Small Plates with a tax-deductible donation, please donate through our fiscal sponsor, Fractured Atlas. The link to donate can be found on our website and in the show notes for this podcast. Until next time, fellow dance makers, happy creating.